Good morning. This is your faithful horror host, Edward October. Tune in to OctoberPod home video on YouTube, where each month we tell a new spooky story. What is OctoberPod, you ask? OctoberPod is the creepy urban legend told to you by a friend over a bottle of wine. OctoberPod is the long, restless night you spent in the basement, waiting for the storm to pass. Still curious? Subscribe to OctoberPod home video on YouTube, or follow me on Twitter at OctoberPodVHS. OctoberPod, the place where nightmare and nostalgia coexist.
Are you ready to be scared to death? You joined us for Scary Larry's House of Universal Horrors. Now prepare yourself for Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. And don't forget, as always, these guys swear like fucking sailors.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Like girls. I could be nice to you. You wouldn't have to pay me anything. I can make you feel good. I can make you feel good.
The sound of a cracked can usually only mean Pint of Comics, but tonight things are a little darker, a little deeper, a little scarier, because tonight, Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors has taken over, and it's the Manster. What's up, Manster?
Oh, I'm living the dream. Living the dream. I'm enjoying this beautiful weather this week. I'm home all week. It's great.
Yeah, you're on a furlough, right?
Yeah, I'm on a furlough, yep.
Nice. You got the nice
beautiful.
background.
I couldn't ask for a nicer week. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I got to work all day, both days, next 2 days. So I have the exact opposite, but whatever. So I like the goatee, by the way. I like the goatee. You're looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
I've suggested it many times. What made you
did? Yeah, I took your advice.
Yeah, man. Lady killer right there.
Last time I had a goatee, it was as dark as yours.
Yeah. Well, this is a trick. I don't put anything in my beard or whatever this is, but I shave everything on the sides is white now.
Yeah.
The mustache and goatee area have maintained darkness, but over here, it started a couple years ago, like on the neck, a little patch of white. And then as things do, it's just taken over. And there he is, Scary Larry Dwyer, showing us on his little, what is that called? What do you have? That's not really a goatee.
I don't know.
Van Dyke?
Yeah, is there a name for that?
It's
Chin patch?
Chin patch? Sure.
Yeah.
Van Dyke, right? Is Van Dyke a thing? I thought
Van Dyke is pointy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's just what I've had for years. It's just it's what remains after I'm done shaving.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. So Larry,
it wouldn't be Larry without that.
That's right.
I wouldn't recognize you if you didn't have that.
I look bizarre without it, like weird, like a worm, like some sort of a worm.
So Larry posts a lot of pictures on his Instagram of his younger days when he was more hooligan-y, I guess you could say.
Baby Larry had that.
I'll tell you, though, from pictures I've seen of Larry on Instagram, when he was probably in his 20s, and he has like a little goatee, and eye piercings and the whole 9 yards, eyebrow piercings. He looks like trouble. Like Larry now still has that like foreboding look, wearing mostly black, tattoos, bald guy. You might not approach him immediately, but like 1997 Larry looks like he just probably just finished like unloading the sacks of a bank job into a trunk somewhere. I don't know. Am I close to right, Larry?
Unfortunately, I've never robbed a bank, but
unfortunately,
yeah, well, I'd have money if I robbed a bank, I would think. But yeah, I was a lot different back then. There's no doubt about it. It wasn't until I got married that things started really cooling down in my world. There was a lot of trouble. Definitely a lot of trouble growing up into my 30s, into my mid to late 30s. Yeah, there was
and Jen just put that on lock, said it's over. It's over there.
She dealt with it. She dealt with it for a while. I think I can't remember if it was her second or third time bailing me out of jail that it was like, all right, that's enough.
We're done.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop this. So then the next time I call my buddy Wade to bail me out instead of Hairpins.
How long have you guys been together for?
Oh my God, since about 2005.
Wow.
Yeah. It was the same year my dad died. My dad died in 2005, and her and I had just started seeing each other. So yeah, what is that? Like 15 years?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I got married in 2005. So yeah.
Wow.
My 15th year anniversary for that. Yeah. Wow. All right.
26 years for me.
Yeah.
Since I've known her, not married, but
26 years for you, and you were 39 when you met. So I just love doing that.
I met her at 94.
Yeah. I graduated high school in 93. So at least we got something going on there. Right. So speaking of all these years, we've been doing these Pint of Horrors episodes, and we start with the 20 list, and then we roll the 4 dice, and then we come up with the 4 movies that the people on Twitter and Facebook can vote for at ConnecticutCultClassics.com, Scary Larry's voting page. And it seems like this is the 8th episode we're recording. It seems like 1980/1981 was like a very stellar year for the horror movie industry. Am I right, Larry? Is this a year that people point to for that?
Late 70s, early 80s are definitely sort of the classic for the genre, especially the slasher genre, as friends of ours really enjoy slasher films.
Yeah, the slasher film.
Yeah. But 81 in particular, 81 was definitely a great year. Halloween 2, which a lot of people say is poop, but I think is a near perfect sequel. American Werewolf in London, Dead and Buried, Friday the 13th 2, My Bloody Valentine, Hell Night with Linda Blair.
Oh yeah.
which we've watched recently.
Gork.
The Hand, Michael Caine.
Oh yeah.
Michael Caine. Michael Caine. Scanners. Which may be shown at a theater at some point. Not even sure. Saturday the 14th, always a gem.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was an HBO back in the day bonanza. That was on HBO like constantly. 81 was just a really good year. 80s in general, but we've done a lot of 81 stuff.
Maniac.
Yep.
Prom Night and Motel Hell. And this, so 4 movies, 80, 81 right there. Day of the Dead, 85. Then Dead Alive was early, like 92.
Yeah.
92. And I am, okay, that's it. That's everything we've done up till now.
Right.
So we're really hitting that early 80s stride.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and look through that Ad Nauseum book.
Oh, yeah.
Loaded with stuff. I love the paper articles and stuff.
Yep. Those are great books. Did you get the second one?
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah.
I did not get the sci-fi one though.
I have that. It's
good.
Awesome.
Ad Astra.
Yeah, Ad Astra.
I got that too.
Which was very confusing because it came out.
Now there's a movie. Yeah.
And they both came out like at the same time.
Oh my God.
Yeah, every time I would like look up Ad Astra for the book for information or something, I'm getting like Brad Pitt as an astronaut. I'm like, I don't even want to see this fucking movie. I like Brad Pitt, but I have no interest in this.
So you haven't seen that? I always wonder if it's good.
No, it looks interesting. I'm still in December. I bought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I still haven't watched that yet because
you got to watch that.
Anytime a movie is like 2 and 45, 3 hours, I always have to like plan it out.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I have to I haven't seen The Irishman, which I want to see, but no.
From what I remember of Hollywood, it's really all you get is you get the big action in the end of the movie.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot of slow build.
Yeah,
for a lot of action at the end. The Irishman. What was The Irishman, like 5 hours?
Yeah, 9.
Could have been like an hour and a half. Could have been like an hour and a half.
Okay, see you saying that, I probably won't even bother now.
I mean, it's worth. Yeah, listen, it's Pacino and Pesci and De Niro and Harvey Keitel. You got to watch it just to watch it, but I don't know. I thought it was definitely overhyped.
First time all three together in a scene.
Maybe all three.
I believe so.
Pacino and De Niro.
Yeah, I don't remember Pacino and Pesci ever being together.
Yeah, no. De Niro and Pesci were what's his name's guys?
Goodfellas.
Scorsese's
guys. Yeah. Pacino was not so much, and the first time that they had a scene together, De Niro and Pacino, was in The Great Heat by Michael Mann.
Yeah.
They had that one scene, and then like 10 years later, they made that garbage barge. Righteous Kill. You ever see that? Where they play cops.
Awful.
So bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
Even, you know what? As good as Heat is, which Heat is a great movie.
Oh, I love Heat.
That scene to me was so anticlimactic. Like, that was what I was waiting for. I was waiting for them to finally meet up. And then when they do, I'm like, that's it. Like, I got to tell you, if I'm coming down on you, I'm just like, like the rest of the movie, fucking great. I'm like, that part, I'm like, shit, I've been waiting for this and fucking, but there was a lot of great Pacino.
All right.
Just lines.
Flip side of the same coin. You're coming down on me. I got to go through you. We're both going to do what we got to do.
With some real great Pacino moments in that. Because she's got a great ass. You got your head all the way up it.
One of my favorite scenes is when Pacino is yelling at his wife's boyfriend. And
he says, you can't take my TV.
Yeah, you can fuck my wife, but you can't take my TV.
He like rips it out of the wall.
Yeah.
Carries it out under his arm.
Oh, I got to watch that again.
Yeah.
Any of these things.
You're going to because our buddy Sal from Robber Baron's Inc.
Oh, that's his movie?
He picked that. So we're going to be doing a show on Heat. Okay, so let's get into this. This is
what are we talking about?
Can we just do Pacino all night? You can get killed walking your doggy.
I think my favorite line in all of Heat is when they're in that like they're like a big open area, all the cops, and they're trying to figure out, and he's like, you know what they got? They got us. The LAPD.
Say hello, boys. That is a great movie.
All right, we're gonna have to drop down a level or two from Heat to the Funhouse.
Funhouse.
The Funhouse, 1981, released on Friday the 13th, March of 1981. This was directed by Tobe Hooper, who obviously is well known for directing the first and second Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Yep.
Right. Invaders from Mars, which I just recently saw.
Poltergeist?
Well, that's a big question mark.
No, it's him.
You think it's him? People say it's not him.
It was him. Spielberg oversaw the project, but it was him. Spielberg actually, Spielberg. We're already getting off into crazy tangents. But Spielberg wanted Hooper to do E.T.
Oh wow!
But Hooper was doing fucking Funhouse, so he's like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's why he pulled him for Poltergeist later. He apparently loved Tobe Hooper.
I'm not a big E.T. fan, But
That's a fucking crazy thing to say. Like, what do you?
I'm
what do
really
you-
not.
What do you
really
mean? It's a great movie.
I think E.T. scarred me as a kid. The scene where he's in the ravine and he's all dried up and they find him, he looked like a fig.
Don't choke, Larry.
He did look like a fig.
Yeah. And I was like 6 years old. I'm like 6 years old, and all I want in the world is to have this alien be my friend.
Yeah.
And now all these dudes in hazmat suits are tracking him down.
Yeah.
And he's a little fucking dried up, like raisin in a ravine.
He's a raisin in the sun.
Yeah. And then he leaves at the end.
Can I admit
don't
something?
know. Yeah.
I got no love for E.T. I've never watched it from start to finish.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were about 32 when it came out. So I'm just
I was
kidding.
probably 15.
Yeah. No, I can see that. I can see that.
That's kind of crazy.
It would have been a much more solid financial choice for Tony Hooper to pick E.T. over this. Now,
Funhouse. Yeah.
who knows whether E.T. would have been the same? Although if Spielberg was involved, I assume it would
I
be.
don't think so.
I'm sure it would have been fine if Spielberg.
Is there a bag lady in E.T.?
No, but there would have been.
Yeah.
There would have been.
Say it.
Yeah.
This movie, Lloyd, did you write down the budget of this film? I didn't get that.
Yeah, I got about $700,000.
$700,000, and it made $7 million. Right? Is that what it made?
Yeah, 7.9.
Yeah, 7.9.
Pretty good ROI there.
Yeah,
yeah, I'd say.
Not bad.
Yeah. So it might not be ET numbers, but it's pretty good for the people that made the Funhouse. So yeah, so the guy who wrote it, I have it here, was Larry
Block.
Larry Block. Larry Block has written two things apparently in filmdom: the Funhouse, which we're talking about right now, and the 1990 crazy ass Captain America movie, which if you've never seen is the one with the Red Skull is Captain America's number one villain. He's German. He's a Nazi, but he's Italian in this movie.
Hey.
So he's known for being it's like, oh, hey, Captain America, you.
It's me, a Red Skull.
You in the red and white and the blue.
A fungal.
Yeah, a fungal. So yeah, he wrote two movies and they were almost 10 years apart and really hasn't done much more than that. Lloyd, why don't you get us into the cast of Funhouse? Or the Funhouse. I keep calling it Funhouse. It's actually the Funhouse.
Yeah, this movie was a little bit confused with another movie. It was put on the video nasty list. You know about that, Larry?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I guess there was another movie. What was it? Last House on Dead End Street, also known as Fun House, 2 words.
Yeah.
Which basically depicted revenge murders and filming of murder and stuff like that. Unsuccessfully prosecuted as that movie, I think.
Nice.
It was so nasty,
Yep.
Filming murder and showing that. They actually thought that movie was a snuff film. So getting to the cast, I'm not familiar with a whole lot of these people.
That's because they're a legit bunch of nobodies.
Yeah. So the main
Except
girl.
for one, there's like one weller-known actor in there.
Yep. So Elizabeth Barrage as Amy Harper.
Yeah, she's the one in the opening credits where you get the introducing. I always love when they do that in opening credits. Like, oh, this person's going to be a star someday.
Yeah.
Introducing Elizabeth Breckenridge. I didn't even know what the fuck her name was.
Barrage.
There you go.
And Amadeus.
Okay. I saw that she was also on the John Larroquette show for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So good for her.
They did introduce her tits immediately in this movie.
Yes.
There was we're not going to wait. We're just going to get the tits out in this movie. Enjoy.
And do you want to get into the tits right now, or do you want to wait till Lloyd's
Let's wait. Let's let Lloyd go through. Yeah.
They reintroduced
the
tits in
We'll
Amadeus.
save the tits. Let's save the tits.
Hey, Larry, do me a favor.
Fable? I'll do you a Fable. Yeah.
Table the tits. Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get back to the tits.
Table.
All right. The tits are tabled.
Thank you.
Cooper Huckabee as Buzz, who was her boyfriend. Now, Larry might know Cooper from Little House on the Prairie, season 2, episode 17. titled Troublemaker.
Yeah, he was Herman Stone. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Also in Urban Cowboy, the movie's Gettysburg, and he was in True Blood.
True Blood, the show?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
The
Who was he in
HBO
True?
show.
Was he like a regular?
I don't
I
think he was regular.
Oh,
no.
okay. I did watch that. As horrible as that show was, I did watch that for a few years.
I liked it a little bit in the beginning. And
yeah, and then it got
weird.
fucking crazy.
Too crazy.
It took a
When Michelle
real-
Forbes came in, it got really strange.
It took a very strange turn.
I dropped out of that show in the third season when they revealed that she was a fairy.
Yeah, I think that's around
yeah,
when I
yeah.
was like, I read all the books. There was like 11 of those.
Oh,
Holy
Jesus.
cow.
Yeah. Charlene Harris was the writer. And for some reason, I fucking read them. Dude, you think the show was crazy. Those books got fucking... Remember, like, there was, like, werewolves and then were-panthers and were-tigers.
Yes.
The books had, like, were-horses and, like... like, there was a
Were-badger.
there's a were-otter flopping around. I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
That's one of my favorite moments in Anchorman 2 is when Harrison Ford... Have you ever seen Anchorman 2?
I shut it off, so I don't know. Depends on where.
Harrison Ford, at the end, they have another one of those big news battles like they did in the first one.
Yep.
And Harrison Ford plays like the network, like old time news anchor. And he comes in to fight and he says something about the full moon that makes me want to kick some ass. And he starts to change. And I think it's Steve Carell's like, what's going on with him? And Ron Burgundy goes, he's a were-jaguar. And then they pan back to him, and he's a giant fucking, like, animatronic jaguar. It's hilarious.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Oh, man. So then we have Largo Woodruff
Thank
as
God.
Liz Duncan. She was in Ladies Club, Jeepers Creepers 2, and a lot of TV movies.
Was she the blonde?
Yes.
She was hot.
Friend, Liz.
She was hot.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was.
Then you got Miles Chapin as Richie, the boyfriend of Liz. He was in Howard the Duck, People versus Larry Flint, and The Man on the Moon, the movie about the REM song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, something very interesting about Miles Chapin.
I was convinced that he was one of my three sons, but the first time I saw it, I
Don't
was like, is
think
that like
so.
Chip? Like, who is this guy?
But he was the son of Elizabeth Steinway of the Steinway piano creators.
And Harry Chapin?
And his father was Schuyler Garrison Chapin, who was the general manager of the Metropolitan Opera.
Nowhere
he
near as
comes from
nowhere
some
near as
pedigree.
cool as Harry Chapin.
Yeah.
I was looking for Harry Chapin myself. I was scouring the internet. Please let it be Harry Chapin.
Yeah, right.
A lot of class in the parentage, and then he's a murder victim in this movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But he went back to like selling pianos and working for Steinway in his later years.
Nice.
After that, we have Kevin Conway, not to be confused with, who's the other guy? Kevin Conroy,
Batman. Yeah.
the Batman guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this is Kevin Conway as Conrad Straker, who was basically the Funhouse Barker. He was the Barker of the ladies.
Yeah. Well, he played three different
weird
characters.
animals. Yeah.
He played
Several-
three
several
characters,
Barkers.
all three Barkers in the movie. And he's the one who I was insinuating was the only one that was like semi
Yep.
famous, like in actual fucking movies.
Yeah, he did Elephant Man,
Yep.
Funny Farm. He was the Insane Mailman. He was in The Quick of the Dead. He was a Klingon in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
He's been around. What is that?
Yeah.
You got that? You guys hear that noise?
Like a beeping, like a weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do hear that.
You hear that, Lloyd?
I don't hear that, but my furnace thing just kicked in.
Hold on one second.
It's Lloyd.
It's Lloyd. I muted you. There's some kind of computer noise or something.
Computer noise.
It sounds like
That I just heard.
someone dialing into Windows.
Yeah, it sounds like you're trying to connect to an AOL chat room.
Yeah.
Are you trying to connect to AOL?
No, my battery's okay.
Wait.
Oh, no, there it goes
There
again.
it's
What did
again.
you just do?
Nothing. I can't even hear it.
You don't hear that.
No.
I'm going to hold on. Yeah, it's definitely you.
That's a weird noise. Sounds
Yeah.
like he's boiling. Maybe he's boiling. Are you a pot of tea? Are you a little teapot?
I'm a little
Short and
teapot,
stout.
short and stout.
He was the one. I mean, Kevin Conway's been in a bunch of stuff, but the most recent thing that I remember was he was Vince Papali's father in Invincible.
Okay.
About Vince Papali, the football player. That was the last thing I remember him being in, and he actually just died a few months ago.
And I'm glad you answered that because I thought he played the other Barker as well, but I was like, maybe it's just two guys that look alike. Okay.
Those Barker characters were good.
Yeah.
That was his stipulation for being in the movie was that he play all three Barkers.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what he told Tobe Hooper. I don't fucking know why, but I read that the other day and was like, oh, that's interesting. That's a weird stipulation for being in this film.
Wayne Doba as Gunther Twybunt. You know who that was?
That's the geek. That's the
Jason
That's the
Voorhees.
monster.
yeah.
He also played Octavio the Clown in Scarface. Then you
Who
got
the fuck is Octavio the Clown in Scarface?
I don't know. You got
I
me.
haven't seen Scarface in a long time.
I saw it pretty recently and certainly don't remember an Octavio the
You
Clown.
remember him?
Yeah, maybe
Side character.
I don't know.
Maybe he was on the TV.
Maybe he was in the restaurant when fucking. Hey, take a good look at the bad guy. maybe Octavio the Clown was like miming in the background or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
And then you got Sylvia Miles as Madame Xena.
Yeah.
Now, when I first saw this character, I was almost sure that it was a man playing a woman. And I hate to say that because in the 70s, she was very like voluptuous, well-known actress.
Yeah.
But she just came across that way. She was 57 years old during this movie.
When she took the thing off and got down to her britches for 57, I wasn't
in great shape.
Yeah. And she snapped him right off. Like he had no problem, just blasting away. Just didn't take her a minute to get him to completion. Twybunt, the geek.
Yeah. Premature effusing.
Yep.
Moving on. She died in 2019, by the way, just last year.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jesus.
She was also in Wall Street, both movies. She played Dolores, the realtor.
Never saw either.
No. And
You
then
never
the
saw the
last
first
one.
No. At some point, I probably will.
You should. It's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it on my list.
And then William Finley as Marco the Magnificent. He also played Phantom of the Paradise. Really cool movie.
Brian De Palma, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah.
Same kind of deal. Eaten Alive and Night Terrors. Also Tobe Hooper films.
Yeah,
Eaten
Eaten Alive is great, man.
Yeah.
I never saw that.
Oh, it's fucking. I think it's Robert Englund's first movie. If it's not his first, it's one of his first. And he doesn't even have like a huge role in it. But yeah, Eaten Alive is good. It's a fun movie. As a matter of fact, I think this was after. Yeah, this was after Eaten Alive for Tobe Hooper. Funhouse was sandwiched right in between Salem's Lot and maybe Poltergeist. I think those were.
Poltergeist was 82. Yeah.
So then, this was after Salem's Lot, but before Poltergeist.
Okay.
And also before Life Force, which is a
Jesus,
a real gem of a film.
Life Force,
they are.
Although, if we're going to still keep the titties tabled, but Life Force definitely deserves to be involved in the titty conversation because
City Talk.
There's that beautiful woman vampire that's naked throughout the whole thing. But that's a movie I've tried several times to watch. Matter of fact, our friend Spielberg, he left me a copy here one time. He brought it over. I think he's a fan of it. I tried it again, and I'm just like,
makes sense.
I just can't get into this. I can't get into this at all. So there's 4 kids, 2 teenage couples, and they go to the Funhouse, right? Which is they've already established in conversation,
much to the chagrin of the girl's
father,
right?
Who like, oh, you're not going to the carnival, which I've never seen any parent react so poorly to their child wanting to go to the carnival. Not saying
because something happened in Dallas, right?
Oh, is that what it was?
The same carnival, there was some sort of mysterious deaths that were associated with the carnival.
And that's why he wanted her to stay away from it?
The mother could care less. She was drunk.
The mother was such that's what I liked about this movie was the parent character,
the drunk mother.
just that character felt real. Like there was a scene where they're going to lie to their parents while they're at the carnival, and they're going to stay inside the funhouse overnight, and that's the whole plot of the movie. And she calls the house, and she's talking to the mother, and she's like, is daddy okay? Like, it felt like there was some real stress in this family. Like, the mom's a day drinker, the dad's just angry all the time.
The son is looking at his naked sister.
What? Okay, so
Yeah, we got to talk about the opening scene.
the opening
is that
scene, was that a homage?
No, it's a direct
Halloween?
ripoff. It's not even an homage. Like, I mean, the whole it's like one long shot. The kid putting the fucking mask up over the camera, so you can only see out of the
eye
two
holes.
Yeah, I don't think it was an homage. Maybe, you know what? I'll take it back. Maybe it was. I don't know if Tobe Hooper and John Carpenter were friends, because some directors do that, right? Spielberg and Lucas used to do it all the time, put like little homages to each other's.
What
films.
I read was it was a tribute to Halloween and Psycho.
So it was an homage.
Yeah.
Okay. It bothered me for some reason. Like, I remember first time I saw it, and it bothered me. It didn't bother me as much rewatching it a couple weeks ago, but I remember being bothered by it the first time I saw it.
Yeah,
definitely.
It bothered me thinking that it was a ripoff, because if it was like, I don't know, Jim White directing this movie, I'd go, okay, this guy's just some schlub. But Tobe Hooper made the Chainsaw Massacre before Halloween came out, so he has cred, and then Halloween comes out and redefines the slasher genre. But then I'm like, this seems cheesy for this guy who was already there Chainsaw Massacre is not a slasher, but he's already a bastion of horror, and he's going to do this. So I'm glad that you read that was because otherwise it was a clear ripoff of the beginning of Halloween.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And the shower scene directly pulled from that too.
Right.
In Psycho,
The
yeah.
little
Did you guys
brother.
ever know the movie 1978? It's called Magic. Had Anthony Hopkins and Anne Margaret.
With a dummy.
Played a ventriloquist, and the dummy sort of controlled him. Nope. If you recall, the dummy face was exactly like that face where he pulled some switch on the wall and the dummy winked.
Okay, yeah.
I remember
in the
that
opening scene in his bedroom.
Yeah.
That reminded me exactly of that movie, because that movie stuck with me because I was like 12 maybe when that came out, and seeing that really stuck with me, and that just brought it all back.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. I did read in doing research something I didn't know before, that the kid had all those masks and dolls and shit. Some of those dolls were actually they belonged to what's the woman who did Lamb Chop?
Sherry Lewis.
Sherry Lewis.
Yeah, they were actually hers. Like, she was friends with somebody on set, and she'd let them borrow them for the film.
Oh wow,
that's cool.
That is cool.
Yep. I thought that was pretty cool stuff. So yeah, we've got the little brother who is, well, we don't know it's a little brother, right? We think somebody's going to fucking murder this girl in the shower. And then he pulls back the fucking curtain, full naked girl. Jen actually watched a little bit of this with me and had the same question that I asked myself like a long time ago when I watched it. Is this girl 14 or 30? Because she had one of those faces, right? It was like, I can't tell if she's a teenager or 36 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, she just had like one of those odd faces. So it was like, should I be looking at her tits, or is it legal for me to be looking at these?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, she definitely had a real strange look to her. Like, couldn't tell how old she was. But so the kid throws back and gets a full fucking glimpse of his sister in completely naked glory and starts stabbing at her, but then you see the knife is folding and it's a fake knife.
Right.
And you think to yourself, what brother is... Now, I never had a sister, so I don't know.
I did, and I did some fucked up shit, but I never did that.
Yeah.
I did hide with a knife. And I did try to scare with the knife, but never went that far.
Yeah, like full naked, like fully full. You know, all her cash and prizes were out.
Next stop, Beaver City.
Yeah, and yeah, I was like, this is a weird setup. This, you know, it really did set up the family well, though. When you saw the fucking crazy dad yelling about the carnival and the fucking drunk mom.
Drunk mom.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so here's what I wanted to talk about in that.
Mhm.
So this movie is essentially about 4 teenagers that spend the night in a funhouse and run afoul of a carny and his, I don't know, deformed mutant son who is murder crazy, right? But there's an entire subplot in this movie that is, to me, so odd, right? So the brother stabs the sister with the fake rubber. She freaks out, yells at him, and tells him that I am going to get revenge on you no matter what, no matter where, no matter how, you're going to pay for this. So
I'm glad you brought this up.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't make sense to me in the end. They did bring it back.
His whole arc doesn't make sense. Like,
exactly.
So you don't know, like, kept me guessing. So he gets dressed and sneaks out of the house after she leaves for her date. He walks all the way to the fucking carnival, which they make clear is straight on the other side of town, right?
Yeah.
He gets in the carnival. He follows.
Didn't he almost get abducted on the way?
Almost got abducted by a carny.
Dude with his shotgun.
Yeah. He gets all the way to the carnival.
Yeah.
And then, he follows them around and then eventually ends up, like, they keep on jumping back and forth between the people we're following and the brother.
Boy.
Yeah.
Eventually, the brother gets caught by a carny, and I think he ends up getting knocked out, and they call the parents to come get him.
The carny of who loved this boy more than his mother.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Took better care of him.
Yep.
So they take good care of him. They call the parents. The parents come to get him. He knows that the sister and the 3 others are in the funhouse and in danger.
Yep.
And he doesn't say shit.
Right.
Not a thing.
And then his story ends. It's over at that point. This is 3/4 of the way through the movie.
That's one of the few things that really bothered me with this movie.
Yeah.
So his whole point, I thought he just wanted to go to the carnival to see the carnival because he was, I'm the little brother. I can't do. He wanted to, like, fucking hang her out to dry. Was that the whole purpose of his? I don't know.
He could check titties off because he already got that.
He saw titties, and then he leaves her to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he like really he did a lot that night. That was a big night for him. He saw his sister's titties, and then he basically left her to her demise.
Yeah. And then
had every opportunity to get her freed because he knew where she was, and his parents are there. And he could just say, "Dad, fucking, introducing Elizabeth is in the fucking carnival." You can whatever. You can save her. She's in there with fucking Herman Stone from Little House on the Prairie. Like, you can, and just in case you don't think that I really do remember him, he played a bully in one episode who was so bad that Miss Beadle was forced to quit teaching, and they had to bring in a separate a new teacher to try to bring justice to the rest of the class.
Larry, no one thinks that you don't know who this is. Okay?
And also,
I 100% believe you from the start.
Yeah, another thing about this dude, just in case you didn't know, he's playing what, like an 18-year-old?
Oh, he was 30.
Much older.
Yeah.
He's 30 years old at the time of filming.
So,
literally 30 years old.
You guys brought up the fact that you didn't know if she was 16 or 36.
Yeah.
And I felt the same way, and I felt even grosser in the scene where he's basically going to pop her cherry, right?
Yeah.
In the funhouse.
Yeah. Titties come out again.
The thought kept coming through my head that she is solidly either 16 or 36, but he's 32 no matter what. Right. So this is either very legal or very fucking weird, right? And the other thought that went through my head throughout this movie with the couplings was like, what the fuck is the nerdy Steinway kid, right? What does he have in his pants that's got the blonde into him?
Right.
No way.
Right. The fucking fake Partridge Family looking My Three Sons motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like somehow has this. So, all right. So hold on. I'm sorry to have to do math right now, But we've already established, I told you this dude was 30 at the time of filming. So the girl who was either 14 or 32, I need to figure out how old she was at the time of filming. So 1962 minus 19...
28.
18. So she was 18
yeah.
years old.
I'm terrible at math, folks.
He was 30 and she was 18. Yeah, whatever. I guess that's whatever.
It was probably legal back then, you know.
Well, yeah.
Back in those days, you could smoke at 14, you could have sex at 13. It was no big deal.
This was also filmed in Florida, where you're allowed to marry your cousin at 12.
Yeah. Well, what better place to film a movie about a carnival than in fucking Florida?
They
right?
have a whole city for, what is it? Gibbstown? Is that what it's called? There's literally a city in Florida that is just for carnies.
Carnival.
Yeah, for people, this is, because these carnivals, they travel around the country, but when they're not traveling, when it's not carnival's fucking time, they all live in this same fucking city in Florida. I think it's Gibbstown or something like that. Look it up, man. It's really interesting. Like the fucking lobster boy killed his fucking wife there, and like there's all sorts of crazy. All right, we went off on a weird.
No, that's interesting. Lloyd's already thinking about his first post-COVID family vacation.
Yeah,
down to Gibbstown.
Party town.
Take the kids down to Gibbs. We got carnies and droves.
I was close. It's Gibsonton, Florida.
Gibsonton.
It was famous as a sideshow wintering town, where various people in carnival and circus business would spend the off season.
Fuck that. No, fuck that.
Yeah, that's not where you wanna. Yeah, that's not where you want to go.
No,
there it is. Grady Stiles, the fucking lobster boy. That's the one he killed. He killed a bunch of people. I don't know how the lobster boy kills people.
Is that where the movie Freaks takes place?
No. I don't know where Freaks took place, but I'll bet you some of them fucking lived there later on in their years.
Did you guys agree?
That's on HBO Max right now. I watched it.
Oh, is it? Great movie.
Did you guys agree that this was a pretty good depiction of a carnival?
Yeah. Well, although I've never seen one full of so many dirty people. Like there was like that. There was the weird fucking lady roaming around, like she was like a fortune teller. I don't know what she was, but she was basically like lady. She was like Ralph from fucking Friday the 13th. You're all doomed.
Yeah, she saw the girls in the bathroom and said, "God's watching you."
Yeah, and then there was like the really dirty guy that was like just stumbling everywhere.
Yeah. Peeping it, no carnival I ever went to had live girls dancing.
That was
thongs and pasties.
Yeah, come on in and look at the naked girls. And I've never seen that at a carnival.
It was really polite of you, Lloyd, to call them girls, because those women.
The one out front, she was much younger.
They were, the one that they used to get you into the tent was what they call chum. And then when you got into the tent and you realized it was a 50-plus strip show with a bunch of women that were, let's just say, past their prime. Yeah, bruises. The tassels don't have to have any kind of like tape on them because they just stuck onto their weird boobies. Yeah, that was interesting. And I wanted to bring up that I think Lloyd just said that the lady said something to them in the bathroom.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that bathroom?
Why, you've never been to a bathroom with like fucking wooden floors and like it was basically just like a couple holes in the ground to piss in? Like, it was usually dude, I never in my life have I said this, and I don't think I ever will again. Just give me a porta potty.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah, I'll take that any day.
I've never asked for a porta potty. I think I would ask for a porta potty.
Lindsay said to me, she goes, "I'm not going to the bathroom in that fucking place."
No.
I said, I agree. It's an outhouse made out of burlap. Like, that's got to be just disgusting, you know?
Yeah.
Weird.
It really, how about the vampire magician?
He was great.
What?
I liked him.
What an odd pairing. Yeah, I know. I'll be the magician, but also a vampire, because lots of vampires do like close-up magic.
Well, you know, they learn. They live forever. They got to entertain people, or at least somehow.
I guess so. The Animal Freak show was a little weird too. Come look at the cow with the cleft palate, and
Yeah.
It's like,
And then there was a baby in a jar.
there was a
Yeah.
baby in it. Well, that
actually
turned out
comes
to
into
be
play later on.
yeah.
The little brother.
Yeah, that turned out to be fucking Jason Voorhees' brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was a good moment. So we get into it. These kids are going to spend the night in the funhouse. You meet all the carnies and the woman, naysaying doom. And then there's this one guy who's working at the front of the funhouse, dressed up like Frankenstein's monster, and he's just this. He's
pushing stuff.
pushing stuff around and lumbering about, and he's wearing a rubber Frankenstein mask. And then you eventually see him in his little domicile, his little weird room, and he's going to pay out of the cash box for a hand job from the, what was her name, Mistress Zula or something like that?
Madam Xena.
Madam Xena.
Close
So Madam
enough.
Xena, who earlier in the movie got mad at the kids who were following for being disrespectful, she not only tells fortunes, but she'll Yankee your wanky.
And the kids are upstairs watching this through the floorboards.
Yeah, those kids were up there for a long
At this
fucking
point,
time.
they were hiding out.
So they're in the funhouse. They're watching from above as they have this encounter, which it's very like, think about Basic Instinct. Think about like these movies with these really great sex scenes, and this is not one of them.
Not at all.
This is the most awkward thing ever. This is basically a 60-year-old woman jerking off a guy in a Frankenstein costume.
I don't even think she jerked him off.
Yeah, she touched
Reached
him.
for it,
Yeah.
and then that was about it.
Yeah, he did a little spurty, and then what happened? She's mad that he's going to rip her off. Was that what happened?
Did any of you think that the money that he was paying her came out of her own lockbox?
No, that was the.
That wasn't hers?
That was his father's.
That was his dad's.
Yeah.
That was his dad was the Barker, and his dad ran.
Yeah,
the
no,
carnival.
I get that, but it seemed, when I was watching that scene, it seemed like he was just taking it from her own till.
No, that was his. That's him in
Alright.
his dad's room.
Okay.
He invited her in there to give him.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought that was her.
however he invited. He doesn't have much of a fucking voice. I don't.
Doesn't have much vocabulary.
I don't know how the fuck he got her in there for the rub and tug, but yes, that was the carnival's money. That's why his dad was so fucking mad, because he was gonna give her like $100,
Yeah, $100.
Yeah.
for a handy in 1981 from a 70-year-old woman.
I think
I don't.
He keeps getting older.
Yeah. yeah. Who? First of all, who? She should be. She's like 82. She should be paying you
Right.
to touch your fucking
82 now.
winkus. Yeah. Like you're.
And he was not happy with the cost to action ratio.
no.
No, he
No.
needed to get that money back.
So
Well, he probably knew Dad was going to be heated.
Yeah,
I would
Wait.
assume.
which
he
he was.
freaks out. He freaks out and murders the fuck out of her. He chokes her to death.
Yeah.
And the father comes in and starts screaming at him. He's obviously done this before. I think this is what we're alluding to in like Dallas or whatever. They roll into town. He gets crazy. He murders a couple people. He's kind of like Lenny from Mice and Men. I don't think he knows he wants to murder him. But, he gets so
As
excited.
if Lenny was an actual monster.
Yeah, he starts petting them until their heads are
I just like the rabbits, George.
so at this point,
I just really like the rabbits, George.
we get what I think was like one of the best moments of the movie is when the father is yelling at this guy, and he's still wearing the rubber Frankenstein mask, and eventually the mask gets knocked off.
Yeah.
And we actually have a pretty good shocking moment. What do we see, Lloyd?
We see this fucking really, I don't know, how would you describe it? Teeth coming straight out, split forehead, cleft palate, all kinds of nastiness.
Albino
Yeah.
monster.
He's all
essentially.
jacked. He's all jacked up.
He's all jacked up.
He's all
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
The dude's not. He's not in great shape.
No.
Also, not really Rick Baker's best makeup work, I'll say. But still, it was effective. I'd say.
Was that Rick Baker?
That was Rick Baker.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep. Surprisingly, like I said, not his best work. I don't know if I think we did mention it, but I think we need to remind listeners that while all this is taking place, these 4 kids are watching
Upstairs still.
upstairs.
Yeah.
Like this is all taking place in which, first of all, for like, if it's like a traveling carnival, how do they have like an underground bunker? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. So
I
at
guess
the
what
end
we
of the
need
movie,
to say before we get any further
Yeah.
is as they were in the funhouse, they wanted to leave. They go and find a locked door, so they can't go. But Richie turns around and said, "Hey, I'm going to go check to see if Madame Zena is really dead." So he does that and then comes back. But what we don't know at that point is he stole all the money in the box.
He swiped the money. That's right.
He stole the money, which they find out about, and that's the big. Now this is 45 minutes in too. So like first 40 minutes of the movie is like sister's tits, kid runs away.
Yep.
20 minutes of actual carnival going. Like we're actually following them.
There's a lot of weed. We missed a lot of weed smoke.
Yes.
There's a lot of weed smoking in the car. And then I think they smoke some more weed while they're hiding out in the fun house. Right?
Yeah,
like
they do.
They're pretty much high through the whole fucking through the whole thing. There's a lot of weed going on.
But now they've stolen the money.
Yeah.
And the father knows they're there. He's 6. What's his name? Troublet?
Trouncer? What is his name?
Gunther?
Troutman?
Why am I saying what's his last name?
Twibunt.
Yeah.
So the father sends Gunther after these kids. There's only 4 of them. It's
because Richie's leaning over and his lighter, the lighter falls through the floorboards.
Right.
Yeah.
Right in front of the carny.
Right. He's like, "You gotta come get your lighter, don't you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
find his
only one way
keepers.
out, and that's down here.
Yeah. So you're right, Larry. I was wondering through this whole movie about the construct of this carnival because, like you said, they blow in and out of town. Yet they're in a building that not only has multiple levels, but like at the end of the movie, when it's spoiler, we get down to eventually
there's some serious steampunk action going on down there.
Yeah. Well, we get to Amy versus Gunther. They're she's the final girl, and they're in like some kind of fucking like 18-floor factory. But that's part of the funhouse.
It's all the machinations turning everything in the funhouse.
I know, but it was fucking huge. I get it. I would think it'd be like one little room with a couple levers and some gears.
You would think that a traveling place can't construct this kind of elaborate thing.
You gotta now listen, I've never worked in a carnival, but from like fucking watching like A&E shows and shit, like they break down and set that shit up in like one day.
Yeah.
That fucking that business that this guy's got cannot, that fucking factory full of gears and widgets can't be broken down in one day.
There's no way you're making all that.
No, cogs everywhere and fucking smokestacks. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like what kind of part-time operation are they running here?
Conveyor chain that they're going to.
What does that have to do with anything?
I said to myself while watching this, and that scene happened where she gets him stuck on the conveyor chain and he's going up. I'm like, is there a dry cleaner here too? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, is this? In my head, I went back to Motel Hell. I'm like, is this where they put the pigs on to fucking make the meat? Like, are they smoking the sausages? I don't understand. Yeah, it was. So yeah, these four kids smoking a lot of weed. We find out later that one of them, the one that looks like he was on My Three Sons, steals the fucking. What's kind of stupid? All right, let's actually back up. What kind of asshole idea is it to decide to spend the fucking night in the funhouse anyway?
Right. Yeah.
Like, I got a great fucking idea. Let's fucking see if we can spend the night in this fucking funhouse full of fucking mutants.
Well, they said like Jimmy Flanagan did it last year. Like,
Jimmy Flanagan's obviously a fucking cunt, all right? Yeah. Jimmy Flanagan's obviously fucking dumb as a rock. And you should probably not be doing whatever the fuck Jimmy Flanagan. So first, there's that. Like, fucking stupid idea of you fucking trying to stay overnight in the funhouse. Especially since they said they had to break down the next morning anyway.
Right.
They're getting ready to fucking leave. They're going to find you, dummy. And second, what do you mean you stole the money, you fucking idiot? Like...
Yeah.
Why? No, actually, I'm sorry. Second, why are you going to check that she's really dead? Third, why are you stealing the fucking money? What are you kids doing? Just get the fuck out of there. Leave the little brother in his dumb fucking baseball jacket there. Because you don't like him anyway. He's obviously looking at your tits all the time.
And they didn't know he was there anyway.
That's true.
They never knew.
He knew she was there. He's this fucking kid. Thanksgiving is going to be awkward as fuck at the dinner. table this year with drunk mom, angry dad, sister who survived, and brother who now he's the only one that knows that. Right. But that's pretty fucked up. I have a theory that he's going to kill himself in like the next 3 years with the guilt that he left his sister there to be fucking murdered by Dilbert Tribump or whatever his name is.
Tribump.
Did you notice?
Was there ever a Funhouse 2?
No.
Does there really need to be?
No, I figured, maybe the kid would be a new killer or something.
Did you notice that fucking Tribun? What is his name again?
His name's Rawhead Rex.
Gunther.
Whatever.
The drool.
Very drooly.
Was so fucking gross on this guy.
You got a cleft palate. What do you want from him?
But it was very viscous. It wasn't like regular drool. It was like
it stuck around.
Yeah. Oh God, it was not good. So he ends up. Who does he kill first? He kills
Richie first.
Well, no,
the noose comes out of the ceiling.
I thought the dude from Little House on the Prairie accidentally killed his buddy with the axe.
First, remember the noose came out of the ceiling, pulled Richie up into nowhere.
Oh,
so they figured he was dead.
Yeah,
right? But then he appears on a rail train car, and they thought it was the killer, and he put an axe in his head.
Cooper Huckabee fucking buries an axe in his fucking head.
Coop axes him a question.
Yeah, he certainly did. How long? You know what? I know we're jumping all over the place, but this kid, it was so important to this kid to sneak out of his fucking house, right?
Right.
Almost gets stranger dangered into a fucking creepy ass truck by the shotgun guy.
Yeah.
And then he finally gets to the carnival. He's clearly there for hours. He's there for fucking hours creeping around. Did he even go on a ride?
No, he had no money.
No.
So he's just like creeping around. So he fucking almost, this whole thing, this doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand. I don't understand his plot line at all.
No. Not at all.
Unless his plot line is to kill her himself, and then she happens to walk into like this perfect situation. Oh, look, I don't have to do shit. I'll let them do it. Because there was one scene, the scene where his parents are picking him up. He looks at the funhouse and you hear the dialogue where she says,
from the sister earlier,
I'm going to get you no matter what. And it's almost like that's the moment where he's like, you know what? Fuck her.
He might as well have just given the finger to the fucking funhouse.
Right. Right.
Before he gets in the car.
That just didn't come together at all.
No. And that's half the movie. Like they keep going back to him. Yeah. And then this movie's structured kind of weird, like we said, because it starts off, with the tits and the fake murder. And then the brother runs away. Like I said, there's a good 50 minutes before we get into the actual, like, the killers going after the kids. There's only 4 of them. So it's not like Friday the 13th where there's 10 kids or some shit. There's 4 of them.
Right. There's only 4 of them, and fucking one of them kills another one. So the Gimp or whatever the guy's name is doesn't even have to kill many of these kids.
Right.
Because they're killing each other.
It's Dorbert Funlight. That's what his name is. Yeah. Dorbert Funlight. So he only has to kill 3.
Yeah.
He doesn't kill 1. She survives.
Yeah.
He only kills 2. Yeah. Right?
There's the second girl dropped through a trap door, right, into the exhaust fan system.
Right. And she fucks him up.
He followed her in there and killed her.
But she fucks him up first.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she stabs him in the back. She says, come on, I can make you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'll include, a knife between the shoulder blades.
But fucking typical of women in early 80s fucking horror films, she stabs him once.
Right.
Yeah.
One time. And then fucking runs away. Oh, no, motherfucker. Like, how many fucking movies you got to watch before you realize keep stabbing?
Yeah.
Just keep stabbing until your fucking arm's tired. Just keep stabbing.
Yeah. Lindsay always says that when we're watching a movie where like the bad guy goes down and then the good guy goes up. She's like, shoot him again. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah. There would be a clip out in that dude. And then, okay, maybe I'll go look and, whatever.
I'm taking a head off. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. I'm taking your fucking head off. And then if you can still walk around with that head, that's on me, I guess.
You win.
I can. Yeah, you win. But I'm taking your fucking head off. That's where we're going.
So he jams her head right into an exhaust fan.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It was really unclear.
They don't show it.
You did see her face in the end, and all she had was 2 scratches on him, like 2 criss-cross scratches on her face.
You're right, because
I
he
think he
did
did
claw
something
her.
with his own hands. Yeah.
Yeah, he did claw her. They show she stabs him, and then he goes at her, and then they kind of cut. Because why would you want to see the violence in a horror movie?
Right. Why would you want to see someone's head going through an exhaust fan? I mean,
Yeah, I know. This is a horror movie. And Cooper Huckabee, dad/boyfriend, whatever he is, he ends up. How does he get killed? He fights.
He fights the Barker,
right,
and impales him on a sword.
Who is apparently a very fucking tough guy. Like,
he
puts up a fucking fight.
Yeah, he does.
Like, and Cooper's not small. That's a big fucking dude.
Yep.
And the Barker.
Oh, he pulls him in. Remember?
Yeah, the Barker gives him a whooping
he
for a
tries to
little
pull
while.
Hooper in.
Is that how he ends up killing him? He pulls him onto the.
No, he tries, but then Buzz gets away. Then the other Gunther Spunk guy comes in, and I don't think they ever showed how they kill him.
Right.
They just
because
show him coming in.
Again, it's a horror movie. You wouldn't want to see how.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to see that. I just when I watch a horror movie, I don't want to see the killing. I just want to see a whole bunch of underground
I just want to know
machinery.
that people have been killed.
Yeah, and I want to see a bunch of cogs and conveyor belts and things of that nature. So this was my kind of movie, really.
Well, you picked it though, so we haven't talked about that yet. We haven't. We usually do that at the beginning. We'll do that at the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, that scene where he puts him through the sword and he's like walking at him on the sword reminded me of Lord of the Rings when Aragorn puts the sword through Lurtz and he's like, he's coming at him. Although that was much better.
So King Arthur and Mordred.
It's down to these two now at the end, and they have a long scene where it's cat and mouse through this giant
steam tunnel
of machinery.
Yeah, very steampunk, like Lloyd said.
Yeah. She ends up catching him on a dry cleaner.
She's beating him with a crowbar, but he wins she gets it away from her and then gets electrocuted, something like that. Yeah, he gets electrocuted with a crowbar, and then gets hooked on one of those conveyor belt chain things. Yeah, and that takes him around through those two giant gears
for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the scene in Deadpool when he's driving the Zamboni at the guy and he's gonna fucking run over with the Zamboni. But it's like taking him forever to get there. It's like the same thing. The guy's like fucking being pulled towards the fucking gears for like 10. Again, reminded me of fucking Motel Hell when the girl's on the conveyor belt that's not actually a conveyor belt. It's just slowly somehow rolling towards the blade.
Yeah,
like come on, you could easily get off this goddamn thing. The same thing with what's the monster's name? Lester,
Gunthorpe, something.
Yeah,
it's hold on. Let me look it up here.
Winthorpe.
It's Blunder Funklebean. Blunder Funklebean. Yeah,
Blunder Funklebean.
Yeah, he tries to pull her in too because he's getting sucked in.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You know, you always try to grab. So I mean, he's got to be upset. His dad's dead.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Now, before we know he's going to be a murderer. He's already murdered Madame Zunia, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Did either of you feel a little bad for this guy when the only thing he says in the whole movie is father?
Yeah.
And then the dad's like, "Don't you ever call me
one
that."
moment,
Yeah. Because he's like, "Father," and he's like, "Don't you ever call me that again." And I'm like, man, I kind of hope he lives. Fuck all these kids. I hope he kills everybody here and then goes and works at, I don't know, like dishwashing at an IHOP in town. Yeah, like working at Applebee's, you know?
Right. The waiter at Applebee's.
Because honestly, if that dude brought you out like the wrong appetizer, you're just eating it. You're not going to say, "Hey, I didn't get the spin dip."
I don't care if you're allergic to shellfish.
Right.
You're gonna eat the fucking dip.
You're gonna eat it. I mean,
absolutely.
Even if maybe he's holding on to your nachos with a fucking with some drool.
Just the drool is just dropping.
Nachos. You're gonna be like, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice to see you again, Glumfert.
Yeah.
So she lives. She gets out of the funhouse. She's walking through the funhouse as they're breaking down. That crazy old lady is still walking around. So is she? She's not a townie. She's a part of the carnival. Like I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. I really don't. Like I was so.
And people are breaking down the tents like nothing was going on behind them. Like there's no screaming, nothing.
But only kind of breaking it down. Like they're not really. They're just leaning. They're
Yeah.
not really doing anything. They're just kind of leaning
You're right.
next to the
You're
thing.
absolutely right.
And this fucking crazy woman is still, she's obviously been walking around for days inside of the fucking weird ass campground. Is it a campground? I don't know, because there's an underground factory. I don't, it's
Yeah.
so, and again, like the factory, I was so confused. Like I said, conveyor belts and fucking smokestack. I thought it was going to spit out an everlasting gobstopper at one point. I was like, I was like, what the fucking kind? What machinery is this? Like, is this what's running the fucking the tilt-a-whirl?
It was like the last scene in Terminator 1 when she's going through that fucking factory with the hydraulic presses.
Yeah.
Like, are they in Terminator 1? That's 3 years from now. I understand that there's time travel in Terminator. Maybe Terminator 1 time traveled back to the Funhouse.
Right.
But this is not a town-to-town carnival setup.
No,
this
not
is
at all.
a dedicated operation right here.
This is more electronics than Disney World has.
Yeah.
Like, this is deep.
Yeah.
Like, so after the 10-minute wait for Rupert or whatever the fucking monster's name is to get pulled through the gears, what was with all the sparks and fireworks? Well, he gets pulled through, and it's like Roy Hobbs just hit that fucking magical home run at the end of the natural. Like, fucking just fireworks are shooting out all over the fucking
and
place.
Still no one's looking at it.
And nobody's paying attention. He's like, what is happening in this goddamn movie? Yeah, so you're right. She gets out. Absolutely no thanks to her dickhead brother.
No. Timmy, real dickbag.
Yeah, I really wish that he got abducted by that guy with the shotgun. That guy should have just taken him.
That would have been a dark ending.
It's kind of creepy the way that guy was caressing his face, huh? Right in front of his parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mom had too many like fucking 7 and sodas to fucking notice.
Yeah.
Father's like, did you notice that Carney was kind of touching Timmy? She's like, just get me to the toilet. I'm gonna throw up everywhere. What do you want for dinner, Hank? A TV dinner? Funhouse, the Funhouse, 1981. Gary Larry's Pint of Horrors. So now, before we grade this thing, first of all, I want to mention that that it can't be really one of Larry's favorites if 2 things. Not only does he not know the killer's name in this thing, he don't have no tattoos at all of it.
His name's Monkfish, right?
I call him, like I said, I messaged Larry, I called him Jason Voorhees because he is certainly like, I thought the makeup was impressive though.
It's Rick Baker. It's not his best work, that's for goddamn sure. But it's decent. It's a decent makeup. He probably spent like minutes on set making that mask
for an 81 era, 1980s, early 80s era slasher.
Yeah.
The thing that surprised me most about this movie was the surprise, and again, the surprising amount of non-slashing. Like, there really isn't
all the off-screen killings.
Yeah.
All the off-screen killings. Yeah.
Almost like Final Exam, right?
Final Exam. Oh, man. Wow.
Just fucking 60 minutes of nothing.
55. 55. Larry had a watch party on a Saturday night, and he showed Final Exam. It's a early 80s horror movie.
I think it's also 80, 81, maybe 80. Maybe it's 80. Maybe it's
the
80.
movie starts with...
It's an early 80s high school movie until the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, it's essentially a Breakfast Club with a little bit of murder. So, if you've never seen Final Exam, the movie starts off with 2 murders immediately right off the bat. And then 55 minutes of character building, and then like 5 or 6 murders to end it. And it also has what I think to this day is the strangest twist, a non-twist, is that the murderer is nobody. They never explain.
Yeah.
So like you're waiting this whole movie to find out, is it this kid maybe? Is it this guy's father? Is it this person that they showed 1 minute in the beginning? Nope. The movie ends. It's some rando dude who's been murdering everybody.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No fucking motive whatsoever. Just,
None.
Just hey, listen, Michael Myers didn't have a motive either, so
Yeah, but you start the movie learning who Michael Myers is. All right. So,
right.
Larry, why? Okay, so we've talked about this.
How did you bring this?
Why did you bring Funhouse on your list?
It was just honestly just one that popped into my head. Like I said, when I made this list to start, you said, well, put down 20 fucking movies, and for some reason that day, because I'm pretty sure I think Funhouse has been on the list since the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. That day it happened to somehow pop into my head, and I put it there. I haven't seen it in a long time. Last time I remember seeing it, oh God, I think I was high as a kite at my friend Wayne's house. We used to, and everybody did this. You'd either get a bunch of beers or whatever and rent the shittiest. And this was just one that one night we fucking got and threw in. I'm pretty sure when I was high, I thought it was pretty intelligent. Like I was like, oh, this is a deep film. Like really, there's a lot of depth to this.
So you don't own this on like the special Shout Factory 9-disc edition?
I don't even think I have this on VHS.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I own the Funhouse at all. I don't think I have it on VHS. I do know a girl Katie that comes to our shows. You would know her I think you guys actually interviewed her outside.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she's a fan of the Funhouse. She had just posted recently that she's like, "Oh, I love this movie and I'm watching it tonight again." Like this is like I think one of her favorites.
Oh.
Like, yeah. So you're going to have to once we're able to go back to the Strand, you're going to have to talk to her about this.
Yeah, I'm going to have to interview Katie and find out.
Feel free to use an accusatory tone
when
you talk to her.
So Kate, you like the fucking Funhouse?
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to talk to her about that.
I'll be honest. So I watched this. We deferred this episode by a week. I watched this a week ago, and if we had recorded on Tuesday of last week, I think going into it, I would have been kinder to it. And once we started talking about it, and I started to really let it sink in, I'm not going to be as kind to it. So, Larry, what are we basing the votes on this time? What are the star system going to be?
I think we'll go fortune teller hand jobs.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Or handy for short. Fortune teller handy.
All right, I'll go first. I don't usually go first. I think that a successful slasher has to have some slashing in it. There has to be maybe some gore, and maybe not 45 minutes of character building.
Especially when they're shitty characters.
Yeah. When there's nobody you care about. When you introduce someone in a movie and they don't become anybody ever, you're also docked yourself. Right. So on sheer, I guess, watchability, the fact that it was made, the fact that I know that Toby Hooper made it, and the fact that I felt bad for Gilbert Toothorpe.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Yeah. I give Funhouse, I'd say 2. 58-year-old fortune teller handies. 2 58-year-old fortune teller handies. Lloyd, how did you feel about 1981's The Funhouse?
It's funny because as bad as I think we're making this movie sound, it's entertaining. Their time in the carnival, I believe, is entertaining. There's just too many things kind of left open that they seem unfinished, like you said, with the brother and the bag lady and other things. But
the brother, man, the
brother. But again, I give it about a 2. Yeah, I give it a 2. That's about
2.
it.
So far, this is averaging 2.
It's not horrible. It's entertaining and fun, but it's not good.
It had moments for sure.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, you brought it. What do you think?
I did. Okay. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the last time I saw this, I was high as a fucking kite. And when you're high, I think I've already told the quarterback princess story. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Watching that when I was high, it was definitely the most, intelligent movie I'd ever seen. The Funhouse was probably up there in intelligence while high on a lot of the pot after smoking a lid of grass. But looking back on it now with a sober mind, I wouldn't go as low as a 2, but I'll go right down the middle. I still do think it was fun. Rewatchability factor, probably not there, but I wasn't like I get angry at like really shitty films. Like I wasn't angry. I was just like, okay, ridiculous, but I still had a good time. So I'm gonna give it 2.5 74-year-old fortune teller handies.
All right. So the Funhouse, not our highest rated, but definitely, it was a movie. It was made on film stock, so
It was
Not the
a
lowest rated.
movie.
it has
No.
that going for it. Going for it. Yeah. So we're Pint of Comics, Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. We'll be back with our next episode pretty soon. The vote is out right now for that. Although by the time you hear this, it'll probably already be over. What are the 4 movies that are on the docket, Larry? So that even though one of them is going to win by the time this comes out, we can kind of go over it. I know Wreck is one. Wreck is essentially, what was it, Lloyd?
The Brood is another one.
Yeah.
Yep.
David Cronenberg's The Brood.
Yeah, so Wreck is one that I think has been in the Wreck was in the running this time with the Funhouse.
Yes, it was.
And Wreck we didn't talk about it, but this was the closest voting of all time for a Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors episode in all 4. Like the Funhouse was 46, Bad Dreams 41, Wreck 39, Inside 31. Like it was all
very close.
It was all very close, all right there. So Wreck has been in the running several times now, actually. You also mentioned David Cronenberg's The Brood. That's in there. Great movie with Oliver Reed. Another great Oliver Reed movie, a little older, Burnt Offerings, is in there with him and Karen Black.
Oh.
And then Street Trash, which is just a gross, gross movie.
I read the synopsis of that.
Yeah.
What is that about? Like, it's like
Viper. It's about Viper.
Like a wine that starts melting people.
Yeah. Yes. Wine, like a wino, like Night Train, like a fucking wino type wine called Viper that the guy finds like a mysterious case of and just starts selling it to local fucking winos, and people start melting all over the streets. Fantastic piece of cinema. So yeah, Wreck, Brood, Burnt Offerings, and Street Trash. Those are the choices.
The next time you hear us talking, it'll be about one of those movies, and then we will do another one. We got the list. We keep adding good stuff to it from Larry's brain. Apparently not the Funhouse. He just threw that the fuck in. But all right, so this has been Pint of Comics, Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors episode, and per usual, Lloyd, why don't you get us out?
See ya.
We are leaving!